Welcome to the Deep Dive. We've got this fantastic stack of research here, Bannock's Italy Research Notes, and we're going to pull out the absolute best bits just for you. Our mission today, a journey through two really distinct but equally fascinating Italian regions, Emilia-Romagna and Marche. We want to unpack their unique histories, their cultures, traditions, basically give you a shortcut to really understanding these incredible places. And the big question we're tackling is, how can two regions right next to each other tell such different stories about Italy?
It's a great question because these notes, they really highlight something crucial about Italy. We often think of it as, one single place, but it's actually this amazing mosaic of incredibly diverse regions. Each one has its own story, its own identity. And these notes, they really peel back those layers. It shows there isn't just one Italy, there are many.
Okay, let's dive right in then, starting with Emilia-Romagna. Going through Bannock's notes, I kept seeing it called Italy's Food Valley and Motor Valley. And you quickly see why, right? It's this amazing mix of like ancient history and super modern innovation. For instance, it's got the University of Bologna, which is, well, it's the oldest university in the world, founded way, way back in 1088. That's a serious tradition of learning, over 1,000 years.
It absolutely is. And the name itself tells you a lot about how deep those roots go. Emilia, that comes from an old Roman road, the Via Emilia, built back in 187 BC. Ancient stuff. And Romagna, that comes from Romania, which was a name used when the Byzantines were ruling, especially around Ravenna. So after the Roman Empire, things got complicated. You had Lombards. Then Byzantines Ravenna was a major center for them, and exarchate, basically a sort of Byzantine provincial hub with real power. Eventually it became part of the Papal States. And then later, Renaissance times, you get these powerful families. Think the Este family in Ferrara, Farnese's in Parma, huge patrons of the arts and learning. They really shaped the culture. What's really striking is this constant thread, this value placed on excellence, on pushing boundaries, whether it's ruling or studying or art.
And that history connects directly to what we see today, which is just fascinating. Beyond the food, which we'll definitely get to, Emilia-Romagna is famous for cars. I mean, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, these massive iconic brands, they're all based right there. Plus, don't forget the ceramics. Really exquisite stuff, especially from places like Faenza. What jumps out from the notes is how this place with such deep history, with patrons commissioning art centuries ago, also became this hub for high-tech engineering.
Yeah.
It's not just about, making pasta perfectly. It's about precision, craftsmanship, in everything.
Exactly. That's the key insight, I think. The old artisanal heritage thing, Renaissance craft, detailed ceramics, it didn't just disappear. It evolved.
Yeah.
That same dedication to quality, to design, to pushing limits, it's just part of the region's DNA, you could say. The same kind of spirit that built the university or those grand cathedrals now. It's a supercar engine or a perfectly made vase. It really shows how a region's past shapes its future in very tangible ways.
And that passion, that precision, maybe the most famous example is the food, right? Bannock's notes basically call Emilia-Romagna Italy's #1 food region. And honestly, looking at the list, hard to disagree, you've got the global superstars. Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, prosciutto di Parma ham, that amazing traditional balsamic vinegar from Modena. And, just so you know, the region has dozens of these PDO and PGI products. That means protected designation of origin or protected geographical indication. It's like a legal guarantee, basically. Ensures authenticity, tradition, real quality control. But it's not just the ingredients, it's the actual dishes. Tagliatelle al ragù, what most of us call bolognese, amazing lasagna, delicate tortellini, mortadella sausage, capelli di pasta, and things like gnocco fritto, crescentina, even sweets like pan pepato and zuppa inglese. And for the serious foodies out there, Massimo Bottura's world-famous restaurant, Osteria Francescana, is there. It really is heaven for anyone who loves to eat. Every meal tells a story.
And what's really compelling is how food works there. It's not just fuel, it's a ritual, a cultural thing. The notes talk about the daily rhythm, espresso and pastries, long family lunches, dinners together. Meals aren't just about eating, they're shared. It's about love, community. It really binds people. You can almost smell it, can't you? Hear the chatter around the table. It reflects the whole spirit of the place. Generosity, joy.
And the artistic side isn't just food. Music is huge there, too. This is where opera giants like Giuseppe Verdi came from, and the conductor Arturo Toscanini, and of course, Pavarotti, the legendary Luciano Pavarotti. But it's not only classical music, pop and rock stars too. Laura Pausini, Lucio Dalla, Vasco Rossi, Francesco Guccini, all from Emilia-Romagna. There's even this folk song, Romagna Mia, from the 50s. Apparently it's like the region's unofficial anthem. It's just a powerhouse of sound, producing these voices known all over the world.
And building on that, the creativity flows into film as well. Think about iconic directors like Bernardo Bertolucci, Federico Fellini, Pier Paolo Pasolini, Michelangelo Antonioni. They came from Emilia-Romagna. And their films often captured something essential about life in the region. It's clearly a place that just inspires creativity in so many forms, a deep cultural wellspring.
Okay, so where can you actually see all this history and culture come alive? Let's do a quick tour. Some of the big cities, Bologna, obviously famous for its amazing covered walkways, the porticos, miles of them. Then there's Parma, Modena, Reggio Emilia, Ravenna, Rimini over on the coast with its beaches, Ferrara, Forlì, Piacenza too. But some specific highlights that really stand out, those Byzantine mosaics in Ravenna,
Yeah.
absolutely stunning. You have to see them.
Yeah.
The Ferrari Museum in Maranello, a must if you're into cars. The beautiful ceramics in Faenza, and these gorgeous little medieval towns and castles like Dozza or Brisighella. It's a region where history and innovation really are side by side everywhere you look.
And linguistically, it's interesting too. It's not just standard Italian you'll hear everywhere. Locals might identify themselves using specific terms like Emiliana or Emiliana and Romagnola or Romagnola. This points to a whole regional language group called Gallo-Italic, specifically Emilian Romagnol. And the key thing here is that these local dialects, they're often seen as distinct languages, not just variations of Italian, really rich with local history and flavor. It's another strong sign of that deep regional identity we were talking about, those layers.
Right, so we've explored Emilia-Romagna, this dynamic place, ancient roots, modern speed. Now let's pivot. Let's turn our attention to its neighbor Marche, see what makes this region tick. Because while Emilia-Romagna is often in the spotlight, Marche feels different, maybe more intimate, like a hidden gem, really. A place where tradition feels very much alive, lived every day.
Exactly. And again, the name tells a story. Marche comes from medieval borderlands, marches. Historically, you had the Marca di Fano, Marca di Camerino, Marca di Ancona. So its whole identity was shaped by being this frontier zone between other powers. It grew through these medieval ruling families and then really blossomed culturally during the Renaissance. Cities like Urbino, Ancona, Ascoli Piceno became important centers. And here's a fascinating fact. Urbino, that's where the great Renaissance painter Raphael was born, a true giant of art. So the insight here is how that frontier history forged this really resilient, resourceful character in Marche.
And what really struck me in Bannock's notes is how vividly traditions bring history to life there. It's not just in museums. Take something called La Venuta, the Feast of the Arrival of the Holy House. It happens in December around the 9th and 10th. Towns across Marche light these huge bonfires. There are fireworks, bells ringing, and people actually do communal fire jumping. The idea is to light the way for the Holy House, guide it to Loreto, remembering this miraculous event. Communal fire jumping. That's pretty wild, isn't it? Really makes history feel immediate, unforgettable. Then there's La Quintana in Ascoli Piceno every August. A big spirited jousting tournament, full medieval costumes and competition, and you find other medieval reenactments, festivals in costume all over the region. It makes you realize tradition isn't just something they remember. It's a living, breathing part of community life. Very grounding.
That commitment to popular tradition really does anchor the region, and that sense of resourcefulness, from its history. That comes through in the food, too. The notes point to this unique land meets sea cuisine. Tradition meets innovation, often born from making do with local stuff.
Yeah, the notes call Marche Italy's culinary gem, and you can see why. It's this amazing blend of mountain and coastal flavors. Specialties include vinces grassi. It's a rich baked pasta, sort of like lasagna but different. And olive alla scalana. Oh, these are incredible. Big olives stuffed with meat, then breaded and fried. So good. Cialscolo, that's a soft spreadable salami. Very unique. And Kempafiloni pasta, a really fine egg pasta, often handmade.
And something that really highlights that resourcefulness is tacconi. It's this rustic pasta from a town called Frate Rosa. It's made with fava bean flour, so it's nutritious, naturally gluten-free, and just shows how they used whatever the land gave them. Then there's a cooking style called alpatacchio. It's a traditional way of braising, uses rosemary, garlic, white wine, creates amazing flavor in meats, fish, even vegetables. And for something more modern but super popular locally, maccheroncino al fume. It's like a smoked mac and cheese, Italian style, with pancetta and tomato. Delicious. It's all about respecting tradition, but also creating new favorites.
And if you enjoy wine, Marche is definitely worth exploring, especially Verdicchio. It's this fantastic, crisp white wine they're famous for, plus truffles, especially from Aquilania, and really excellent olive oil, too. It just speaks to a really rich environment, doesn't it? that bounty from the mountains and the sea.
Musically, Marseille is interesting too. It doesn't have one single dominant city or opera house like some regions.
Yeah.
Instead, its musical identity comes from lots of smaller, really vibrant local centers, towns and villages. It creates this rich tapestry of sound, a real grassroots musical life, many small, thriving communities, not just one big stage.
Which makes it pretty significant that in 2007 they adopted an official regional anthem, the Hymne de la Marche. It was instrumental at first. Then, get this, they held a public contest in 2013 to add lyrics. That really shows a kind of collective regional pride built from the ground up. And let's not forget, Marche nurtured giants like Raphael back in the Renaissance. And it still has this really rich artisan culture today. Think winemakers, olive oil producers, musicians, artists. Individual craft is still highly valued. So where should you look for landmarks? Urbino is key, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, that Renaissance gem, Raphael's birthplace. The Ducal Palace there is breathtaking. Loreto, obviously, is the sacred destination for the Holy House and the center for those La Venuta bonfires. Other important towns, Ancona, the main port city with its cathedral looking over the sea. Pesaro, known as the City of Music. Rossini was born there. Pesaro is also called the cycling city, apparently, lots of bike paths. And Ascoli Piceno, famous for its incredibly beautiful main square, Piazza del Popolo.
And the landscape itself is just stunning across Marseille. You get beautiful Adriatic beaches, amazing cave systems like Frasassi, dramatic cliffs like Monte Conero, then the mountains, the Apennines rolling down, and these timeless little villages scattered everywhere. It's a real symphony of landscapes. It truly offers this harmonious mix, each part telling its own piece of the Marseille story.
Now, the notes don't mention specific, modern fashion trends from Marseille.
Ah.
But you can easily picture, right? The colorful costumes from the festivals, La Quintana or La Venuta, or just the timeless look of people working the land farmers, truffle hunters, or folks in the coastal towns. Simple, functional clothing rooted in tradition. It's not about high fashion, maybe, but clothes that reflect a way of life, a connection to place.
And interestingly, similar to the fashion, the notes mention there isn't a lot of widely documented local slang, which kind of suggests that maybe the regional identity, the unity, comes more from that official anthem, the shared traditions, the landscapes they all know, rather than specific ways of talking in different towns. It's a different kind of shared identity, perhaps less urban, more rooted in that common heritage.
Okay, so we've looked at both, Emilia-Romagna, Marseille, side by side. What does this comparison tell us? What can you, listening, take away from these two really different Italian stories, these multiple Italies?
Well, putting them together, the contrast really highlights things. Emilia-Romagna, you've got the ancient university, the cutting-edge cars and ceramics, the world-famous food, the big names in music and film. It represents, maybe, an Italy of outward-facing achievement, high culture, famous cities, global recognition. It often defines Italy for the world. Marseille, though, gives us a different picture of Italy, doesn't it? Shaped by that frontier history, those strong community festivals, the bonfires, the jousting, real grassroots stuff. The food, born from resourcefulness, that land meets sea idea, and an identity built up from many local places, deeply tied to its varied, sometimes rugged landscapes. It feels more like a region you discover, full of authentic experiences, where tradition is really lived.
Exactly. They're not just neighbors on a map. They really show this idea of multiple Italies coexisting, Emilia-Romagna. Global brands, high culture, that's Italy, Marseille, deep traditions, local charm, connection to the land. That's another equally vital Italian soul. Together, they just reveal the incredible depth and variety packed into this one country. The magic of Italy is its variety. And that wraps up our deep dive into Emilia-Romagna and Marseille today. I hope you found that journey as fascinating as we did. It's amazing what you can unpack from just one set of research notes.
And maybe something for you to think about as you go about your day. How do these stories about identity, tradition, innovation in these Italian regions, how do they resonate with what you see around you in your own community, your own culture? What other hidden gems, what stories of history and spirit might be waiting to be explored, even in places you think you already know well?
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.